Well, good evening, everybody, and the game has now concluded at Westpac Stadium in Wellington, and it's finished 31 all. A game that went right down to the wire, really on the edge of the seat. You know, I was screaming at it. So, okay, so first half today, full house at Westpac Stadium. Great condition, the weather was beautiful, underfoot even better. One change of lines made before the start of the game. Halfpenny came on for Jarryd Payne, who failed a fitness test. So lines kick off, and there was a good solid start from both teams. It was going end to end early, and you could tell it was going to be a pretty much free-flowing game on this one. Hurricanes put a few good early breaks together. Jordie Barrett had a few until he knocked on, and then Laidlaw knocked on at a good scrum attack for the Lions. So yeah, so that's how it was pretty much going. Attacks and then a bit of an error, an attack then a bit of an error. That's how the first 5 minutes went, which is pretty unexcusable considering the conditions. Yeah, so then the Lions had the first opportunity inside the Hurricanes 22, put a few good phases together until the Lions were awarded a penalty, and Biggers knocked it over, 3-0 Lions. Lions got another penalty on halfway, Jordie Barrett with a high tackle, but the Lions tapped and went, which caught everyone out surprise, and they went pretty close down the side. 5-0 the penalty count at this point, which was not looking good for the Hurricanes. And the Lions got into the 22, pretty close to the line, but Henderson got held up, and the Canes win the turnover, and that was an opportunity gone as well, which was a shame, because it was looking pretty promising. First penalty after 50 minutes to the Canes. A chance to get out of their own half. And then it came down the other end and there was a try. Canes on attack outside the 22 of the Lions, and a great tackle from Seymour, which popped up the ball and Laidlaw intercept. Now Laidlaw went all the way down the other end from the inside the Lions 22. Broke all the way down to the 40, got tackled, and they all converged on him, and he was able to roll onto his back, and Seymour, after that cracking tackle, got the pop-up pass off the ground and under the post. And that was an awesome moment there. Biggers with a conversion, 10-0 Lions. About a couple of minutes after that, Lions lost Henshaw, and that could be into his tour. Looks like he's done his shoulder, something along the lines around his shoulder. With a shoulder injury, so Halfpenny came on rather early on this one, and there's a bit of a shuffle around at the back, and yeah, I think yeah, Halfpenny went to the fullback, and I know that there was a bit of a move around, and George North came into the midfield, so that was going to be a bit interesting, because George North at that point would start to do some pretty awesome hit-ups from there on. And then the Canes had a good grubber, which went right through, and yeah, they came up short. Clever ball through, tackle in the well, sorry about that. Yeah, Canes were a great grubber through, but the Lions were able to clear it. That was what I was trying to say, sorry. Notes. Yeah, so that was that. A great breach in the back, short pass to Laumape. Laumape was playing absolutely fantastic in this game from the Canes. Yeah, watch that name, Laumape, pretty good. Canes go close, but again the chance was gone, a knock on, so they were blowing a few chances to the Canes, but then they did strike back and got on the board. Canes try, and it came from a scrum free kick, and they muscled it up a few phases, and then Gibbons with a try and Barrett with a conversion, and that was and also, sorry, I missed a penalty earlier from Biggers. Yeah, 13-7, so 13-7 at that point. That was after 30 minutes, so again the game was starting to open up a bit. And then on 32 minutes, Biggers got another penalty, and it took it to 16-7. So it was looking pretty good for the Lions. And then another good breakout onto the 40, and then the try to North. It went back and forth, and then Barrett put up a bomb, which was fielded by, I think it was Biggers. Biggers put up the bomb. Halfpenny chased, contested it, the ball bounced down, Henderson picked it up, beautiful pickup, and offloaded it in one move to George North, and George North went under the post. Converted by Biggers, and at that point it was 23-7, so it was starting to look pretty good for the Lions at this point. But then also this game went into extra time on the first half. They went over about 2-3 minutes, and the Canes were on attack. They had a couple of line-out drives. They went close in the first one, got another penalty, had another shot at it, and I think it was at least, oh, I don't know how many phases it was. It was at least 12, 13 phases until the Lions eventually turned it over and were able to get rid of it and clear it. So at half-time, it was a good start for the Lions, and they were 23-7 up at half-time. Penalty count was 8-3 in favour of the Lions, in the favour of the Lions at that half. So great first half from the Lions, and moving on to the second half. So into the second half, the Hurricanes kick off on this one, and it all pretty much was one-way traffic to the Canes for the first 10 minutes of the second half. Not the start the Lions wanted. Within 2 minutes, the Hurricanes had scored a beautiful try. Great early phases, also down the wide, and they came back, was it from the right to left? Beautiful inside pass from Asso into Julian Severe. Julian Severe flew in to within about 5 metres, 10 metres, popped a beautiful ball out to Laumape, and Biggers tried stopping him, but too big, too strong. Sort of bounced off him, hurt his neck a bit, and Laumape was in the corner. So perfect, and I do mean perfect start for the Canes. Straight back in that one, and Barrett converted it, so 14-23 at that point, and that was only after 2 minutes into the second half. Got me worried. Yeah, so 2 minutes in the second half. Another penalty to the Hurricanes, bringing down the scrum, which was a bit of a shame. Barrett missed this one, though. That would have been pretty bad. He missed that one, just went wide of the post. But again, the Lions just could not get out of their own half. And another great opportunity for the Hurricanes. And it just kept coming and coming and coming, and then another penalty for offside this time, and then this time, run it to the post. And this time Barrett converted it, so yes, 23-16, sorry, 23-17, and yeah, they were coming back, and they were coming back fast. So I was actually starting to get very concerned at this point. I was starting to poop myself. So yeah, so that was 20-7. Then Canes eventually lost the ball, and it was a turnover to the Lions. They got down to the other end, and first moment of this match, the big changing point in this match. Can't remember the halfback for the Canes got sin-binned, and they went down to 14 men. Biggers converted the penalty, run into the post, so 26-17. So at this point, ooh, not looking bad. It's down to 14 men. Henderson then, a little bit later, was held up under the post. They looked at the TMO, pretty close. I'll be biased again. It could have given it, but there was no conclusive evidence, sorry, of a grounding, so they didn't award that. And yeah, unfortunately, there was a big turning point there that they didn't take that one. But from there, another 5-metre attacking scrum, and from there, Seymour was able to score his second try. Great build-up. With advantage, spread it wide into the corner, and Seymour over. 31-17, conversion missed by Biggers. Again, another big moment there. So at this point, it wasn't looking too bad for the Lions. They were starting to gap them, as we all thought. Then the Canes put a couple of good combos together, but again, pardon me, didn't come back up. Right, so the big change of the game came a little bit later. The Canes came back to 15, so they were, I think, about 15 minutes out, and they got back to their full team, full strength, 50 men. George North, at this point, had a chance to sort of finish the game off, but unfortunately he didn't. He picked the ball up from a Joseph Grubber. Joseph grubbered it through. George North scooped it up and put a foot on the touchline, and then dived over. They had a quick look, and at this point they didn't award it, which is fair enough. So that would have been the game. That moment, the game is over. But it didn't. And then the Lions had a few more phases in the middle of the field, and then the big turning point. Henderson, who was having a cracking game at that point, did lift a player off the ground. Put him in a dangerous position, and yeah, sort of drove him into the ground, into his shoulder. So he got 10 minutes. And from there, pretty much, it was, yeah, one-way traffic there for the Canes. And the Canes, after that, scored 2 tries. Both converted, so we're locked up at 31-all. They had another couple of opportunities down there, But yeah, just before Henderson came back on, they sort of lost the ball in the in goal. It was sort of like a knock on, which was kicked through, but then they went back for a penalty for Namapi. Did a bit of a neck roll on Halfpenny, turned his neck. So Biggers got to drive out. So it came down to basically the last couple of minutes, and yeah, it went pretty close. The Lions put about 23, 24 phases together. Eventually, Norwell was held up. The siren went, so we thought that was it, but the Hurricanes decided to attack. One more shot. So they ran it from then their own 22. A great steal. I didn't see who stole it, and then it gave the Lions one last shot. And they drove for a couple of phases, and then they eventually laid it back to Biggers, who went for a drop goal, went for glory, and it just dropped under the post and flickered away, and that was the game, 31-all. So, a pretty fair result in the end of it. George North's try would have wrapped the game up if Henderson probably hadn't spared. One of the Hurricanes guys, you know, it wasn't deliberate, but you lifted him. So that probably would have been the game there as well. So I'm sure the Lions will be disappointed that they didn't win this one. But then again, they could have also lost this one as well. So I suppose 31-31 is a fair result. Players that stood out for me in the Lions. Corny Laws probably has done enough to get himself a spot either on the bench or starting. Cruz came on, didn't really show much. CJ Stander didn't have a super game, but he might appear on the bench. I'm not too sure on that one. On the other side, Luisi was outstanding, and Lamapi was just unreal as well. So two players from the Canes that I thought stood out unbelievable in this game. So yeah, so that concludes this game, 31-all. Again, put down your comments and what you think of this video, and keep smashing that like button. And I'm nearly at 100 subscribers. Come on, people, let's get me over this 100 mark. Got to be doing this for something. So yeah, so that ends the game. Yeah, so 31-all. Put your comments down, and I will look forward to seeing the teams announced for this weekend, and then I'll do another video on that one, and we'll have a chat. So comments, smash the like button, and make sure you subscribe, please. So from me, a 31-all draw here, and a very good evening to you all.